Hi, it's Mrs. Moran, and today we are going to partition shapes. So what exactly does that mean? Partitioning means we are going to divide them into smaller parts. So here are 4 shapes, and we can look at them and see how are they partitioned. Well, the lines are drawn different ways, but in the end, we've divided them into 2 parts. So it is cut into halves, and each part is 1/2 each. So I want you to go get paper and pencil, and I want you to be drawing some of these shapes and partitioning them with me. So here are the shapes, and you should draw them. And I want you to draw one more line to partition them into quarter sections. Okay, so let's do that. Right now it's in 2s. Okay, but I can go from here to here. Now I have 4ths. It's pretty easy to go from 2 sections to 4, right? Going across the circle, first it was 2 sections and now it's 4 sections. Going diagonally, I have 4 sections, 4 equal sections. And going this way, just by adding one more line, I partitioned it into 4ths. So now we're going to partition shapes, and we're going to start identifying the part. So here I have taken a rectangle and I've partitioned it into thirds, this way horizontally, and I have identified a third, 1 out of 3, by shading it in. And in this picture I have a rectangle, but I've done the lines vertically and I've shaded in 1/3 here, and that's what we're going to do. So let's do this together. We're going to partition into thirds. So we're going to take each one of these rectangles and we're going to partition them into thirds, and then we're going to shade according to the directions that were given. So let's do the first one, and you can do it on your paper. And we are going to partition them into thirds. And it's telling me that I should shade 3/3, so I have to pretty much shade the whole thing. So let's do that because it wants me to take all 3 of these and shade them. So 3/3 is the whole rectangle. I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to cut it into thirds or partition it into thirds. And this time I am going to shade just 2/3. So let's try that. Just 2/3. There you go. Let's do the last one. We're still partitioning it into thirds. Let's see. There we go. I have 3 parts, and it wants me to shade in just 1 out of the 3, or 1/3. And you should do that on your paper. Okay? So now let's do it with circles. We're going to take each circle and partition it into 4ths and then shade as we're directed to shade. All right, so let's do our partitioning. First I'm going to do my horizontal line, then I'm going to do my vertical line. I have my 4ths, and it's telling me shade in 4/4, so that's 4 out of 4. Here we go, and that means I'm shading in that whole circle. Second circle, they still want us to partition into fourths. So I'm going to draw my vertical line. I'm going to draw my horizontal line. You see I have my 4/4, and it says shade 3/4. So let's do that. Now we know 3 out of the 4 is going to be shaded. There we go. That's 2/4, and now this is the 3/4, right? Okay. Now the next one is same thing. We're going to partition into fourths. First, this time we're going to do our horizontal line. And we're going to do our vertical line. And then they want us to shade 2 out of the 4, or 2/4. So let's do that. So that ends up being like half of the circle, right? Here we go. And once again, we are going to partition our circle into fourths. So we have our vertical line, our horizontal line, and it says shade 1/4. So 1 out of the 4. That's it. Okay, that's what it told us to do. So now let's practice with mixed groups. All right. It says here 2 halves. So I have to draw it into halves and then shade it. All right, so let's draw 2 parts, partitioning it. And it wants me to shade 2 halves. So that's pretty much the whole thing, right? Okay, there you go. Then next it says 2/3. So let's look at that. So I have to divide this into thirds, right? So it's 1/3. There you go. There's the other ones. All right, and it wants me to shade 2 out of 3. So let's do that. All right. Here we go. 2 out of 3. And then 1/3. This one's a little tricky to do. So I suggest you watch me do it and then you can try it, all right? But you come down to the center, okay? And then we're going to go over to the side. And then we're going to go over to this side. 1, 2, 3. And it wants us to shade in 1/3. 1 out of the 3. There you go. Here's some more mixed shapes. All right, so we have the circle again. We can divide the circle. It says half, so I know I have to divide it into 2. I can go vertically or horizontally. This time I'm going to go horizontally, and I'm just going to take 1 out of 2, or 1/2. Good. And then this one says 2/4, so I know I have to divide it into 4s. 4 parts. Divide it in half and divide the half in half, and you get fourths, right? Okay, and then 2/4 is 2 out of the 4. There we go. 2/4, 1/2. Then the last one says 1/4. It's a longer rectangle. So we're still going to do fourths. We could do it vertically this way. We could do it horizontally. I'll let you do whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to do it vertically. Okay, into fourths. 2, 3, 4. Okay. And it just wants me to get to shade in 1/4, right? So that's just this one section here. There you go. 1/2, 2/4, 1/4. All right, so what did we do today? We took these shapes and we divided them or partitioned them into smaller parts. All right, so here was 1/2. We divided it into 2, shaded, shaded. Here is 1/4, so I know I had to divide it into fourths. And I had to take 1 out of 4 and shade it. This one is a third, right? We did all of this. We're like masters at this, experts, right? 1, 2, 3, and I just wanted to do 1 out of the 3. Excellent job today. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.